Born under the TI triple V3 star sign, a cat brings to you React content, upper echelon, future of gaming. Let's take a look at that one. What's gonna happen to gaming?
Alright, how many people watching this have heard the term play to earn? Anyone? Yeah? How about NFTs or Web3? Honestly, you'd probably be much better off not knowing what these things are because they're total garbage.
The main argument against that I've heard, and I think it's a pretty valid one, is that it changes the incentive structure for the developer to turn this thing into some sort of pyramid scheme, as opposed to just making a good game.
Contributing nothing of positive value to society right now. But these terms get really popular, or rather got really popular for a couple years during the crypto boom of 2020, and I'm pretty sure they're about to circle back around and get much more popular again, sadly. See, gaming has become the largest entertainment medium on Earth by far, and crypto bros, hell-bent on shoehorning their stupid little tokens into whatever industry they can possibly infect, have decided that blockchain will make gaming better, NFTs are the next evolution of ownership, and crypto is the future of gaming. Just so you can see I'm not exaggerating on all this, here's a few examples. Why the future of gaming.
Yeah, so there's the snowball scheme that people want to make money off of, which is probably going to be in the foreground or in the, like, that's going to be driving the conversation. Like, people want to get into it because of making money. They want to make money, not because any grand ideas about ownership.
Gaming is built on blockchain by the Algorand Foundation. How blockchain gaming is redefining the gaming industry, published over on Hedera. Play to earn games, revolutionizing the gaming industry with blockchain. That one's from Solulab. And blockchain revolutionizing the game.
So let me make this a bit faster.
Games industry from LCX, published in February of this very year. It's funny because crypto bros are trying as hard as they possibly can to legitimize the technology and catalyze wider adoption for video games. But, well, it's not going particularly well. Now, if you listen to what they write about, you could be forgiven for thinking it is. Quote, blockchain technology is rapidly changing the gaming industry, offering unprecedented levels of transparency, security, and user engagement. With the use of decentralized systems, gamers and developers alike are able to leverage the benefits of blockchain to create a more immersive and decentralized gaming experience, end quote. But if you spend some time actually playing these products, well, that's what we're going to do today. What makes all this even more hilarious, if that were even possible, is that to play these blockchain games, you mostly have to use the Epic Games storefront. And Epic Games, rather Tim Sweeney, the founder, has said, quote, we'll have a quality standard that doesn't accept crappy games. We'll accept reasonably good quality games of any scale, whether small indie games to huge AAA games, end quote. That's a very compelling picture, isn't it? Like, really, it is. Blockchain is revolutionizing gaming with unprecedented levels of user engagement, and while Steam decided to ban NFT and crypto games from their platform entirely, Epic decided to accept them while stating that they intend to have a quality standard which doesn't accept crappy games. Just keep that in mind for the rest of the video. So where am I going with this? Well, the answer to that question is very simple. If blockchain is the future of gaming, if it's revolutionizing the industry, and if the Epic Game Store...
Aren't skins in CSGO NFTs anyway? They aren't on the blockchain, but they're NFTs, right? So, I mean, you know what I mean? So,
with its high standard of quality, is the biggest marketplace where I can experience that glorious future. What reason could I...
Like, what else would you want from an NFT besides what CSGO skins are? Right?
Possibly give for not downloading and playing some of these groundbreaking entertainment products.
Like, there might be some interoperability. Like, you could have the NFT in your version of the game on Epic Games and in your version of the game on Steam. There may be interoperability, so that would be nice, right? But it's a... I understand that, yeah, it could be good if Steam didn't have a de facto monopoly on CSGO skins, right? That would be maybe a good thing, right? But it's a small problem to have in the grand scheme of things. So that's why I'm saying, at most 30% of the value of a game can come from the NFTs in there, right? And that's a big grant. That's a big thing to grant already. 30% of the value? I can't even imagine what that would mean, you know? It must be really good NFTs, really good skins. I don't know. And how would that work anyway? Again, I'm saying 30%. And so you guys still have that good game. And by the way, they actively forego opportunities to sell their own skins that way. In a way. At least they increase the competition. Again, like Steam, they have a monopoly on the CSGO skins. Right? And they want to keep it that way. So they can make more money. And so the NFTs actively take away from that. So I have some questions there.
So that's what I did. I logged into Epic Games, searched for NFT or blockchain, and started downloading. Right off the bat, the first thing I noticed is that there's no results here other than free. It doesn't look like any of these games are ever paid products. They're all free to play, which is good, maybe? I guess we're going to find out. The first one I decided to grab was called Grit. Grit, according to a game review done on a website called playtoearngames.com, is a AAA plus NFT Wild West Battle Royale, which kind of sounds pretty cool. Well, I downloaded the game, installed it, booted it up, and you can't play. The servers don't work. The website says coming in 2023, even though it's 2024 now. The Discord invite link is broken. The Twitter account hasn't posted anything since last year.
But are they selling NFTs already? How does that work?
And I finally found a Reddit.
I wonder if they are. I'm not sure.
Reddit thread from 8 months ago where the servers seemed to be playable then, at least, but there was no one online. The person played alone in a battle royale for 20 minutes and then signed off because not a single other person match made into their game. What a great start. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's not fair. It's just one example. There's always going to be exceptions to the high quality standards of Epic Games, and the technology really is revolutionary, but not every game can be amazing. Give it another chance. And yes, you're right. I shouldn't judge them all by the failures of just one, so off I went on this journey. The next one I clicked on was called Ape Squad, which seemed to be, I don't know, have some connection maybe to the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT collection, which was being shilled by a bunch of celebrities, so good, maybe, possibly. Let's find out. No, we can't find out. This one isn't playable either. I have no information as to why. I didn't feel like doing all the research. And I just couldn't get into the game, and they misspelled the word password on the main login screen. Just excellent stuff here. Really, really strong start. Feeling slightly defeated, but not ready to give up quite yet, I kept going and clicked on a game called Brawlers. I was starting to get a little bit annoyed by this point because all of this stupid blockchain shit requires you to make additional accounts in order to play. You can't just do it through Epic Games, sadly. And they have all these hoops to jump through because they're trying to get your money from your wallet. But after getting things set up and logging in, I finally found one I could actually start. Well, did I though? See, yes, I could log in and peruse this rudimentary game menu, but when I tried to play a ranked match, that is a match against another human opponent, the timer would get to about 1 minute and 30 seconds every single time, and then just kick me out of the queue. Here I was on title number 3, exploring the future of gaming on a storefront where they don't accept crappy games, and yet I was 3 for 3 with unplayable garbage. I did eventually switch over and play one round of this Brawlers game against the computer, but you look at this in the background right now and tell me whether or not it's the future of the industry. Go ahead, let me hear it. I'm super curious. At this point, I was getting very annoyed, so I figured why not try something single player, and that way you don't need to have opponents and you can experience these.
It could be fun. It's like a card game, I guess.
Revolutionary games just for yourself. I scrolled around and landed on a game called Blight's Wrath, developed by Equilibrium Games, which is a single-player fantasy RPG. Excellent. Well, I downloaded the game, launched it, jumped into the world, and yes, I could play. The level of excitement I felt, you just can't even understand. I was thrilled to now experience the future of video games and immerse myself.
And yeah, there's gonna be growing pains.
In this fantastic world. Yeah, the dialogue doesn't work. It was broken. The control scheme is the worst thing I've ever played with. You can just infinitely run around on the bottom of the ocean because they didn't program barriers or swimming or
why does the menu look like the Diablo? What's going on?
Basic physics of any kind. And then the game broke. I couldn't progress the main quest line anymore. Something was off or wrecked, I don't know. And I got sick of wasting my time. Great stuff. Something I should add here, the developers for this game are now like making or talking about an MMO, like a massive multiplayer online game, which they have said is basically World of Warcraft on a PvP-enabled server. The devs that made this right here.
You know, 10 years ago, every other month there would be a new MMO coming out. It was great. Like 10 years ago, you know, everyone was making MMOs. It was the golden age for MMOs in a way. And it's 10 years later, and so now we get another MMO that tried to be World of Warcraft, like everyone was doing 10 years ago. Okay, I don't know, but hey, maybe it's gonna be good. I don't know.
Here have said that there's an MMO they're working on that is basically World of Warcraft. Oh, and the marketplace for Blight's Wrath, which is supposed to be like the selling point for the entire concept of NFT and blockchain integration in video games, just doesn't work.
And hey, if it did work, it may be an interesting feature to sell the game off of. Like, it could be good, right?
Look at this game and tell me with a straight face that blockchain is the future of gaming, and that the Epic Games Store has quality standards for what they're willing to allow on the platform. For real. Anyone? Does anyone want to give it a shot? Like any of you crypto...
Yeah, not with that look. I'm sorry, but anyway.
Crypto enthusiasts out there, you want to type something out in the comment section? No? Yes? Come on, give it a shot. Still, what are the odds that this could keep going? Slim, right? Next was a game called 9 Lives. I figured it can't get worse, so let's just keep going. And this one is supposedly an RPG that focuses on 1v1 combat. Really stunning quality here. The thing that got me, though, after being grateful that I could even log into it and it has any gameplay to experience at all, the thing that really got me was, you know how I just said the control scheme is the worst thing I ever played with the previous game, right? I described the control scheme of that one as the worst. Yeah, this one beats it by a mile. See, it turns out they didn't program in diagonal movement. You can only go left or right, forward or back on a 90-degree XY axis. You can't strafe diagonally at all, which means that you have a permadeath 1v1 combat game with no players, by the way, not a single one. I didn't encounter anyone during the entire.
Hey, I don't mind artificial difficulty. It can make the combat more dynamic, paradoxically. Like if the options are limited, they're also limited for your enemy, and so you gotta play around that. So it could be good. It could be. I see it in action. So that's one issue here is people aren't playing these games, right? So
play session where you don't even have fluid control of your character. This is where I started to realize, well, now wait a second, it's all bullshit. And just kidding, I knew this the entire time. But I'm not joking when I tell you that the quality of Web3 video games is way worse than I expected going in. The last one I decided to try because I was getting very sick of this, to be honest, was called Red Chaos, thinking there's no possible way it can be worse than what I played so far. And thankfully, I finally got one game that I could play a match in and have at least a tiny bit of fun that functioned on a very basic level. Red Chaos is just a generic arena shooting game. The controls are bad, the hit registration is bad, the reticle bloom is absurd, but hey, I logged in, I found a match, I led the team, I had the most kills, I even got multi-kills, and at the very least, this was a functional video game that could be played. That being said, nothing about this is unique whatsoever. There are hundreds, more like thousands of better options out there that have nothing to do with blockchain. Half of those options are also free, which counters the only actual thing that this game might have had going for it, and the bare-bones nature of the title is impossible to ignore. Sure, you can say early development or work in progress, but this is such a basic thing. There's no way that this product will ever define anything about video games. And sure, it looks great when you compare it to everything else I played before it, but as soon as you jump out of the crypto pond, where most of the competing fish are just completely dead anyway, it has no chance of surviving, let alone thriving, because it's mediocre at absolute best. Bottom line, we've been hearing over and over and over for years that crypto and blockchain are the future of gaming. Web3 and play to earn will revolutionize the industry. In particular, Ubisoft seems to be embracing some of those concepts. And gamers need to get with the times because there's no stopping the train now that it left the station. That's just wrong. Crypto games are pretty much all garbage. They contain nothing new. They have zero functionality that wasn't already widely available long before blockchain even existed. And what's worse, they don't even measure up to the most basic standard of quality because they're scams. They're trend-hopping homunculus creations whose only purpose is to get people to speculate on digital assets that won't even be around a couple years later.
yeah, that's the worry. So if you want to avoid that problem, you just gotta go to the crypto games that are polished, funded by somebody with a lot of money, who's willed to take a hit on their bottom line so that the players can do their own content, or maybe you really got to look for a philanthrope in the space, right? Like somebody's going to take the financial cost, pay for your game, pay for your marketplace, right? And no, you're not going to get rich playing that game either. It's just somebody going to burn a lot of money, make something that's actually worthwhile, and have a crypto-based marketplace, right? Like that's what you're looking for. Alternatively, you could look for somebody who promises something like that and is looking for people to fund that, but you're not going to get rich off of that, right? So you're probably not going to find such a crypto game because everyone seems to want to peddle the idea that you're going to get rich off of their game if you just invest early, quote unquote, invest on that point. Anyway, don't expect to make a lot of money from this crypto stuff because, again, it's about the producer of the game making less money, having less of a monopoly. That's the only pathway to something useful for this crypto stuff I could imagine.
Epic Games, the store that has quality standards, yeah, Epic Games is now distributing unplayable crypto trash because none of this is the future.
But it could be done. It could in principle. I don't think it exists or will ever exist. But hey, it could be done.
None of it is revolutionary, and pretty much all of it is entirely worthless. That's my take on crypto in gaming, and I would love to be proven wrong, okay? I would love for the industry to be advanced and revolutionized by any concept out there, but it's probably never going to happen. Most people who have anything to do with crypto want free money. That's like their MO for integrating themselves with the industry at all. But free money doesn't exist. The closest thing I can find is stuff like Honeygain, which uses a portion of your internet connection to run price comparisons and things like that. And if you put it on a few devices, you can maybe make enough to cover like streaming subscriptions every month, which is cool, by letting it run in the background or something like that. But no video game is ever going to let you log in, play, and then get rich because you earn tokens that are somehow worth tons of money. It's just not going to happen. I'll put a link to Honeygain down below, by the way. I've used it myself for years. This video is not sponsored by them. It's just me talking about it. It's not a lot of money, but it pays you reliably per device, and most importantly, it's very easy. It's not for iPhone, though, sorry, just Android and Windows. Anyway, that's it. The future of video games, Web3, crypto play to earn, it's all a joke. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. Patreon, Locals, a VPN affiliate with a huge discount, and more, but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.
Alrighty, yeah. Not what I wasn't expecting. Pretty much what I was expecting, let's put it that way. And there may be a resurgence of this stuff. True. As long as you're not the last idiot to hold the bag, you can actually benefit from these snowball schemes yourself. But it's not a value add to society. So maybe you should do something more productive with your life than trying to figure out, okay, where is gonna be the thing going on? I mean, you know what I mean. It's really not like smart use of your time most of the time, unless you think of it like as a hobby, like a recreational activity or something. I don't know. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the vid. Also, rate, comment, subscribe, share. I will link the vid below and do the same stuff over here too. Etc. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. Meow.